turning back now.
I wanna be pushed aside, so let me go.
No turning back now.
Let me take back my life, I'd rather die all alone.
No turning back now.
Anywhere on my own, cause I can say.
No turning back now.
The very worst part of you is me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 12 Gauge Podcast. It is
Matt Williams, 12 gauge super fan, I guess you would call me.
And so Matt hit me up, and it's been a little bit of time since we've actually done a 12 Gauge Podcast. And we've got our generous guest sponsor here, Brandon Pledger. He's going to walk by here for a second and say hi. It's his beautiful self. Hey. So guys, we're going to get right into it. I'm going to let Matt here have kind of free roam to ask me whatever questions he wants to ask.
I got some burning questions for 12 gauge. I know you're waiting. I know you've been waiting for this, guys. It's going to be a good uncut, trust me. All right, 12 Gauge Presents Undisputed is coming to the Coosa Valley Fairgrounds in Rome on July 12th. And you put together a stat card, a very stat card.
Absolutely.
And I figured what we could do is we could go through each match and just kind of talk about who's in it, what's happening, why the certain stipulations that you've chosen for these matches, and kind of how it all came to be. Are you good with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, so let's start off with this gauntlet match. This match is huge.
It's crazy, right?
It is crazy. For the fans, though, who do not know the rules of a gauntlet match, how does that work in 12 Gauge Pro Wrestling?
Well, in 12 Gauge Pro Wrestling, a gauntlet match is going to take place in the form of you'll have two competitors start out.
Okay.
Start the match with a 90-second interval between each contestant from there on out. So right now, I think we're stacked at roughly 7 contestants. So the key to this is going to be speed kills.
Yes, very much so.
If the quicker you can get rid of your opponent to make sure that you have a breath for the next opponent, might be how long you actually survive in this tournament.
Right, it's a test of stamina, correct? I mean, it really
It's definitely a test of stamina and how well you conserve your energy and how fast you can actually put away someone.
So how are the slots drawn? Like how did the wrestlers get chosen for each spot? Who's in there first? Like who has to go first? How did you determine that?
Well, actually, it's all random as far as.
Oh, it's random.
It's
okay.
going to be random. I have not set anybody a particular place.
Okay.
So at that point in time, it's going to be basically when I walk in that day, say the names in the order I do, that's how they go out.
Wow. All right then. So they don't have a clue if they're first, last, or wherever.
No, not at all.
A couple of the competitors in this match, they've had some matches in previous shows. One of those is the Warden. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he is a graduate of Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Academy.
He is. It is correct. Now, I will have to make one exception to the rule. I cannot disclose the reason and details, but Warden will be actually missing this one, and there will be a competitor that takes his place.
Oh, wow.
In this. It's not a bad thing.
Okay.
A really great thing for Warden and 12 Gauge. He's going to be presenting in something very soon that we can talk about, but just not today.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I was extremely impressed with him at the last show. That is a big man that can do some crazy fast moves. He did go up against another person who was in the gauntlet match, Jerry Swirls. Is that his name?
Jerry Swirls.
Swirls. The name is really strange, but we're good with it. He can do some pretty cool moves too. He did a Bronco Buster. Now that's something I hadn't seen in a long time.
Yes.
I was impressed by that. Tell me a little bit about the other talent in the match. You got, I believe, Space Cowboy or
Space Cowboy.
Okay.
He showed up on the scene the first time we met. I won't disclose the location, but he suffered a shoulder injury at that time. And so I didn't get to see him as much of him as I had hoped to.
Right.
So he reached out to me a few months ago and says, hey, I'd love to have a spot. And he brought a lot of energy to his conversation with me.
Okay.
And he said something not only was impressed, but he was like, look, I'll promote the show. I'll promote myself. And as a promoter, you love to hear that fact. Too many of the guys now don't know how to get out, and they think you're just going to know about them and come.
Right, and you're not.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to go digging for some of these guys like that, and that's something I've noticed too. When I'm trying to learn about these wrestlers, some of your guys have some history all across Georgia, and some guys really haven't left Rome.
Yes.
But it just depends. So some of the other competitors in that match, can you give us a couple more?
Dallas Cage, for one.
Okay, Dallas Cage.
Dallas is, he's our Mighty Mouse, really.
Yeah.
A small guy with a lot of talent, a lot of charisma. He's at the very beginning of the tip of what he can do. So we're looking to see a lot from this kid.
Yeah.
He's one of those that I've had my own for a while. And, he's put away competitors The biggest one, last former Georgia champion from, he sent him out tail running and back to other promotions.
Yeah.
So we've got a big win from him. So Dallas Cage is definitely Eden Monroe.
Eden Monroe, that is an enigma.
Absolutely. You can not go anywhere without me hearing a side of whether people love her, people hate her, but they feel one of two ways.
Yes, they do.
And absolutely, which as a pro wrestler, that's exactly what you want. You want that definitive feeling, whether you love them or you love to hate them, one of the two. And Eden is extremely talented, safe worker in the ring, and I can't say enough about the gimmick that she uses and how well she puts that to market.
Well, let me go back to what you just said a minute ago. You mentioned that Eden Monroe works safe in the ring. You got another match going on, a first blood match, with a certain wrestler, Corey James.
Corey James.
Last show, some stuff went down. It wasn't quite safe. And as you were a wrestler in the ring, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So for those who don't know, when BK Bennett jumped off the top rope, Corey James decided that would be the best opportunity to do a code breaker, which was amazing looking. But as a wrestler in the ring, in those types of four-way matches, I mean, what are your options when someone's jumping from the top rope at you?
Well, I don't know that you have necessarily a safe option. He did use the option that put his opponent away.
It did.
And
it put
in
him
an impressive fashion. So there is no way I can fault him. I do tell people that it's pro wrestling. It's a physical sport.
Right.
We don't cry about broke bones. We don't cry about broke faces. Sometimes they happen, but there's a lot of better alternatives. I've really, we definitely don't want to see broken necks, broken backs,
right?
Things that you can't recover from. But a bloodied nose, a broken nose, we can deal with. But that doesn't mean that there's not receipts.
Correct.
That have to be collected.
And BK Bennett said in a promo, he's definitely getting a receipt in this first blood match. I mean, he was adamant. And in that promo, he was also wearing a face mask. So is it some permanent damage here we're looking at? Is this long-term damage? Was it just a broken nose? Are we talking?
There was some, from my understanding, there was a little bit of orbital fracturing that actually happened during the injury. And he called me and immediately was vehement that he gets a rematch and he wanted Corey James.
Right.
And, I was kind of obliged to commit to that and say, yes, you deserve that match that we get this. And then he said, hey, I want it first blood.
Wow. So he's the one who decided on that stipulation.
He decided on that stipulation because I knew as well as I know Corey, me and Corey go way back to training days. And I knew Corey wouldn't say no to that.
I've seen Corey James over the years, and he has grown as a competitor, I'll say. And so when he did decide to do a code breaker on BK Bennett, in my opinion as a fan, I was like, you may want to save that because I don't know how he would possibly top that in this match, that kind of move. But BK Bennett, he's coming for him, and it's good. And also, you've got a special referee for this match.
I do.
Atlanta Rick.
Atlanta Rick.
Atlanta Rick is a special referee in a first blood match.
Yes.
Tell me about that. How'd that come about?
Well, Atlanta Rick's been a fan and another super fan for a long time. So if you've been at a 12-gauge wrestling show, you saw Atlanta Rick. And you know exactly who he is. He is a unique character into himself. He could almost be a wrestler.
He's his own character. He could.
But so he's like, Rocky, if you got anything for me to do, I can do. And there's a lot of things in wrestling that a referee is. I think the people overlook the importance of a referee. There's a lot of jobs, but in a first blood match, it's kind of simple. The rules.
Right. It's going to be,
I do want some leniency in the fact that there's not a drop or two of blood. There's a lot of blood in a 12-gauge match that's going to be to decide the match. A little bit of blood from the nose, we can overlook. When someone's got a crimson mask, then we got a match to call.
That's what I'm thinking. See, I reached out to Atlanta Rick. I was like, Atlanta Rick, man, you need to turn a blind eye if it's something small. We don't want little cuts. We want to see bloodbath.
Yeah.
I mean, and I really think at this point, BK Bennett kind of deserves it for a receipt if it happens. All right, let's take a look at this tag match you've got set up here. 2 out of 3 falls street fight between Thunder and Lightning and Smith and Matthews. Tell me about that match.
We're down to the third and final match. I've told both these two teams that we will have a definitive winner this time. There's no whining and crying.
Because the last time Smith and Matthews cheated to win, correct? Is that pretty much what happened? I mean, it was cheap.
And again, it's pro wrestling, so it's hard to. Many people have said, "Show me the rule book," because we don't have one.
Right.
So I mean, we've got a gentleman's rule book, but at the end of the day, they did pull out the win. The referee's decision does stand. So we're 1-1. So the person that pulls this home is the winner, and this is a big thing. These are two of the most prestigious tag teams that have happened in Georgia.
Oh, Thunder and Lightning, I watched at Dillard's Music Park back in the day when they just were babies. It was amazing. I mean, they have been going on forever. I mean, I want to say I think I even went to a college class with Chris at one point. It was back in like the early 2000s. Yes. So they've been wrestling a long time. Now, I'm not as familiar with Smith and Matthews. Can you give me a little bit of information about them? Like, what have they been up to?
Kyle Matthews is he's one of the biggest things in Georgia.
Okay.
You can't go from Southern Honor to anywhere in the Indies that doesn't know the name Kyle Matthews. Kyle's one of those that it's a miracle he hasn't been on NXT and WWE and he
moving on up.
And that may be because Kyle had other priorities.
Right.
And that's probably more the case, but.
And that may be the case. Well, I haven't really seen much of them because he has other priorities. He's been kind of in and out of wrestling, or is he kind of staying consistent?
He has been in and out of wrestling.
Okay.
And so he's in the last couple of years, I think he's kind of made a return.
Okay.
But there's not, from a technical sense, Kyle Matthews stands right up there with Zach Mosley. Joe Black. He's a heavyweight as far as when it comes to the names when you talk about who's the best in Georgia.
Right.
And, and we continuously see more and more of that coming our way. We got, later on we'll still discuss Skywalker, Alpha Miller, Hakeem.
Right. We got some talent.
Yeah,
and I hear that you've got talent trying to knock on your door, and you can't even reach them all at this point. You've got people coming from all over the place, right, wanting to get on the show, and you only got so many slots on the card.
Dude, I can't. And if are you married?
I am. Oh, yes.
Okay. So you'll understand this. This is a 24/7 job.
Yeah.
My phone is always going off or whatever.
Right.
And I have, between my ADHD and everything else, this is probably the perfect job for me because I'm always.
You got to be everywhere, yeah.
Running everywhere. But it annoys the hell out of her because I don't know when to stop being a booker and just be home for a little while.
Right.
And so I'm working on that balance too because I know what it's like when a guy's trying to hit you up to find out what your answer is. And I try to be fair and provide that because there's so much talent that's great. Mm-hmm. There's so much talent that I've met and that I like, but that doesn't mean they fit to the 12 gauge mold of what I plan to deliver for our fans. So I have a bar, an aesthetic bar, physically, because I'm well aware, and I don't want to go into Walmart and see the same kind of people that I can see in a wrestling ring on the weekend. I want to see the guy that's spent some time in the gym, that's got a physique,
right,
that's giving me my money's worth, that has put the dedication and the time into his craft to become a professional wrestler.
Right.
Does he have real tights?
Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Does he know what it's like? Does he know what the training, and has he put that effort in?
Right.
We all come from the backyard originally.
Oh, right. Of course.
But there's a difference between those of us who seek that additional training, learn to become a wrestler, hit the gym, and carry that on. And I was no exception. You go back to my early part of the career, before my heart issues, in the gym every day.
Yeah.
That was if I wasn't wrestling, it was in the gym.
So it takes a lot of dedication, training, actually putting in the effort to get to where some of these guys are on your show.
Yes.
You're not just picking up anybody that comes walking in green, rookie, never been in a ring before. You don't want that.
No.
Okay. Any names that have dropped in your emails or your DMs that you can share with fans that they may be excited about coming up? Or is that off limits?
No, it's not. But some of them I've actually shared at this point. You've got Tyler Franks.
Yeah.
So we've kind of teased him at this point, and
I saw some videos of him, and he's very impressive with the kicks.
Yes.
That man can kick like nobody's business.
The Glitch in the Matrix is coming soon to us to face Ryan Marks, Kilgore.
Okay, that's what the GITM stands for. Okay, let's move into that, because you've got two matches that are leading into the undisputed title match. And these two matches, whoever wins, they're going to compete in the main event for the new title, which it looks impressive to me. I love seeing it in person. It's nice. That is a nice title, folks. That is nice. You mind if I hold it on this chair?
Yeah, absolutely.
Jeez, that's got some weight.
It does.
Dang. Nice side plates and everything. So they're competing for a real championship here, folks. I love that.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. So Glitch in the Matrix Kilgore, what is his deal? He's got this aura about him. I don't know how to explain it.
I don't either, but it's something I like.
Yeah.
There's something about it, that raw, that attitude, the chip on the shoulder.
That's it.
That he feels like, to me, he has something to prove.
Right.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see, does he got what it takes to show us at 12 gauge against our own person that has a chip on his shoulder, a major one.
Ryan Marks.
So, come on, we know, I've known Ryan for a long time, and he thinks he's God's gift to wrestling. But is he?
Was he a champion in your previous, or am I just confusing him with someone else? In your previous brand or previous show?
He has, not in a show that I was previously at, but he has, I think, if I'm not mistaken, GW and a few other
I know I've seen him in the title picture somewhere, and when it comes to his abilities, is he more of like a powerhouse type wrestler? Is he technical, aerial? How would you describe him?
I would say, if I was looking at Ryan Marks from a competitor's point of view, Ryan's wheelhouse and his danger zone would be his power game.
Okay.
As he's grown, I saw him try to do a lot of high-flying stuff that I don't think benefited him quite as well as the power style that he's fallen into now. So the Ryan Marks that we're seeing now is an evolution over time that, quite honestly, if Ryan can keep focus and he finds his right stride, Ryan can definitely be one of those best names in Georgia. There's no doubt. I wouldn't bet him out at the end of the night. We could be seeing Ryan Marks as the first 12-gauge undisputed champion.
So, our options really at this point, it's either going to be Glitch in the Matrix Kilgore, Ryan Marks, and then the other match is Rico Bravo versus Walker 13. Now, I've seen Walker 13 in action. That dude is scary. What is he? Is he alive? Is he dead? What is this? He reminds me of The Undertaker to some degree. I don't want to say he's mimicking that, because that's not it. It's a whole different gimmick. But he looks scary. He doesn't talk. He seems like he's possessed. And him and Zach Riley had a big man match at your last show that I thought the ring was going to break at some point. Those guys were going to town on each other.
Yes, the Memphis-made monster.
Yeah. In fact, I think you had to reinforce the ring before they went in, because we pointed that out. I noticed you had some guys come out and do some of this stuff. I was thinking,
we did, and we planned on a lot of reinforcement for that ring, because they were two really big guys. Yeah,
it was impressive. And I've seen Zach Riley before, and how long has he been wrestling for? It hasn't been that long, I don't think.
Hasn't been that long. I would probably say, and forgive me if I'm incorrect, somewhere around 3 to 4 years. Okay. And probably in the last year or two, it's actually really getting out.
He's grown a lot in the ring.
He's grown a lot. Zach has a huge heart for the fans. I was with Zach since day one of his training. Okay. So Zach's been with me for a long time. Zach's got quite a few ass chewings from me before, missing practices and stuff. There's been some times where we broke down and had some heart to hearts about how bad you want something.
Let me ask you this: has he ever used the axe on anyone?
Not that I know of.
Okay, because he comes to the ring with an axe. In case fans aren't aware, he comes to the ring with an axe, which I'm like, That's scary, but it reminds me of like Drew McIntyre coming to the ring with a sword. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, it's not the same. I don't think we're going to see anybody get cut with it, but it's still there.
Yeah.
It's still possibly an option if he's not happy. So. Now tell me about Rico Bravo. He's a substitute at this point. You just had to change the match recently.
I knew about the substitution needed to happen for about 4 days, but I was trying to find the right person.
Right.
And going through that list, I actually called up Papa Marco.
Okay. And
And-
we've seen on the site, you've kind of advertised that he's coming to
Yes.
12 gauge at some point.
Yeah, so we will definitely have Papa Marco at some point in time, but Papa Marco's nursing an injury right now.
Okay.
So he wasn't at the best spot for it, especially to be against Walker.
Right.
I mean, nobody wants to face a monster injured.
Yeah. I can't say enough how much Walker 13 is scary. Like, he is scary. He gave me the heebie-jeebies. I think I called him his name out at one point during the match, and he looked at me and just gave me the worst, like, fear face I've ever seen. It was he is a horror movie come to life.
Yes.
Now, Rico Bravo, though, he's kind of a smaller guy, right?
He is a smaller guy, but very well. He's built really well.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to have a good understanding of the moves and his move sets and what he can perform. I think he's going to be really an underdog to put in this. An underdog for some, not necessarily for me. I think that people could, if they're not careful, if Walker sleeps on him,
Mm-hmm.
and the problem with beating a monster is it only takes 3 seconds.
Right.
And so, do I think he'll submit Walker? No.
Oh, no.
Walker's
No, I don't
not
see
going to
that
tap
happening.
out. But can you get 3 seconds on a monster on his back? There's a possibility there.
Well, I do know that Rico Bravo, he has what's called the Bravo bomb, where he literally picks these guys up and drops them. And I could see him doing it to other cruiserweights. I'm going to be amazed if he does it to Walker 13.
Yeah.
I think fans are going to be out of their seats if he can do that to Walker 13.
Yeah, if he gets that on Walker 13, that would probably take the roof off the Coosa Valley
Yes, it will.
Fairgrounds for
Yes,
sure.
it will for sure. I'm going to tell you the match I'm looking the most forward to, and this is almost personal in a sense, because I know we went over the Undisputed Championship matches and everything, but the match I'm looking the most forward to is Chad Skywalker versus Hakeem Young. And I'm going to tell you why. Hakeem Young is my father's favorite wrestler. I go to these wrestling shows with my father. Hakeem Young, when he came out, he decided to take his jacket off, blow his nose in it, and throw it right in my face.
I saw that.
My father has not stopped harassing me about that for the last month. So I'm really hoping Chad Skywalker just takes him to town. But earlier this week, Chad Skywalker dropped a promo that was one of the highest quality promos I think I've ever seen in my 30 years of watching wrestling.
Wasn't it, though?
It was.
Yes.
I watched it like 20 times. I mean, if you have not seen the promo, after you finish watching this, please go watch that promo. That is what promos in professional wrestling should look like on the independent scene.
Absolutely.
It is fast-paced, draws you in, and I know who he does not like, who he's coming after, and what he's going to do. It's amazing.
Yes.
Now, Hakeem's tends to be more of a cheat-to-win kind of guy, using cheat moves. Is that going to happen at this show?
Well, you never know to say no, it can't happen, but we're going to keep a special eye on that, and the referee's going to have a little bit more leniency given to him in that case for sure. I'll probably put Kevin, our senior referee, in there.
Oh, good. Kevin Oswald, he's the best referee.
So,
Goldberg himself.
yes. Everybody's waiting for him to spear somebody one day. They're just going to step out of line, and he's just going to hit it.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. I've legit wanted to take my picture with Kevin and just tell people it's Goldberg. I don't know if he'd be offended, but
If we can size him up and maybe put him on the steps to equal out the size and height of Goldberg, then
Hell
you
yeah.
probably almost have it spot on.
I like that.
But yeah, the two, man, and I'm glad you brought that up, because in this area I've had so many people discuss, and they were like, "Oh, some of the people around here don't know," and that's what the scary part is. If you don't know Chad Skywalker and Hakeem Young,
Yeah.
these are legit two of the most traveled, best wrestlers in Georgia. I mean, they stand right up there with easily, because people here know Zach Mosley,
Yeah.
but Zach's been in there with his match. He's won, he's lost against both of these guys at different times.
Right.
And people have asked many times, Zach will be back.
Okay. He was in the main event of the last show, right?
He was in the main event of the last show, and he will definitely return again. We're just looking for the right time, and because he's got a score to settle with Hakeem Young, and J. Alpha Miller for sure.
J. Alpha Miller, man, that guy is intense. Does he ever calm down?
If he does, I don't know about it. From the time I've talked to him, to book him, from the time in the back to our interaction, people asked me beforehand, he says, when you and him were eye to eye right there and he was threatening you, be careful what you were going to say. He said, what did you think was going to happen? I said, I thought we were going to throw hands.
Yeah.
I legit, I was just waiting on him, because I might be the owner, but that doesn't mean I won't respond.
Right, exactly. Yeah. He's not going to be on the next show, though, right? But he's probably going to return to 12 gauge at some point. I do know that Chad Skywalker does still have his flag, which he's going to want back at some point.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
So they've got unfinished business, and the one thing in 12 gauge we don't like is unfinished business.
I agree. Yeah.
So
let's move on. So we've gone through all the matches. Anything else you want to add about the upcoming show? Anything we haven't discussed?
Man, I challenge everyone, if you don't drink the Kool-Aid, if you think saving, for July 12th, if it's worth saving $2 to lose the quality of show that you're going to get from 12 gauge, then obviously I'm not the show for you. But our show is packed with quality, and I won't touch the value because it's going in the pocket of those great wrestlers that we bring to Georgia.
Right.
They deserve every penny of it.
Yes, yeah.
Because what they put their body through to entertain us, and their gym, taking the time, which as we said, going to the gym, all those things cost them money. And
they don't just show up like this.
No, they don't show up. All of us know.
Yeah,
it's going to the gym's hard.
Right.
And it's not free.
And just learning the trade itself. I mean, you can't just go into a ring and not know how to do the moves, how to actually, take on someone in the ring.
Yeah.
You can't be green and go up against Walker 13 and think you're not going to get your ass handed to you.
Yes. Yes.
You've got to know what you're doing.
Yes.
So, and I want to reiterate too what you just said, and that you offer a different product.
Absolutely.
It is fast paced.
Yes.
It's consistent as far as storytelling goes.
Yes.
And the talent is younger. And I think that's the big difference. Most of your talent is under the age of 40.
Yes, absolutely.
Which, I mean, I know WWE has a couple of guys in their 40s, but they've been doing it their whole life. And it's they're not going to go anywhere else. But, I mean, I think that's a big difference when you're showing what we see in other places. All right, now that we've run through this card, let's step back and talk about the business as a whole. Is there anything you want to talk about as far as like the Rome area wrestling? Is this a hotbed of wrestling here right now in Rome?
I think Rome has been, what we talked about, polluted and oversaturated, I think, by the wrong level and quality of content over the last few years. And I think that's been designed. My biggest insult is we hear the word carny a lot in wrestling.
Carny.
And I think that's true. There was a lot of carny mentality that's ran through this area for the last several years to make a buck.
Yes.
And I love pro wrestling for the heart, the spirit, and I'm a business guy. By the end of the day, I need to make enough money to pay the bills for all the wrestlers and pay the venue. But do I expect to get rich off of it? No.
Yeah.
That's not my source of it.
Gotcha.
My source is to give the kids in this area something I had as a kid, is to watch those bigger than life heroes.
Right.
And be able to afford to see them. I came up in Rome, Georgia, right off on in Doncaster.
I don't
So in Sherwood Forest.
Right, I don't know that's up.
My parents our grandparents, I would say, that raised me, were middle class. The biggest wrestling show that I ever got was WCW.
I got Saturday night.
Yeah.
That's what I got to see when it came to the Forum.
And I think they got to go, when they carried us to Dalton during the time, and so I got to see Booker T, Harlan Heat.
Yeah.
And back when Dillard's actually had a few shows, I got to see Stunning Steve Austin, as the Hollywood Blonde. He had the blonde hair still.
I met Jerry Lawler out there at Dillard's and New Jack. If you've seen New Jack, I mean, I know, rest in peace, New Jack, but if you ever did you ever see New Jack wrestle?
Yes. Always a surprise.
I've never been more scared in my life to be at a show, but I will never forget it.
Yes.
Hakeem threw the snot rag at me. It wouldn't bother me because New Jack threw his bloody clothes at us. So
yes.
it was very different.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of questions from some of the fans. You want to answer? You good with that?
Sure, absolutely.
All right. So Dave asked, will we ever see women wrestling in 12 gauge?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'd hope for it to happen sooner. I will, and I'll be very blunt, and this, the woman doesn't really make the difference to me. It's high quality content because.
So what you're saying is you wouldn't want, like, say, let's say Walker 13's wife wanted to be on the show.
No.
You wouldn't just bring her out and have her do stuff, or
No.
like say, like, I don't need to know, I don't know, Chad Skywalker's baby mama come out. We don't need that, right?
No,
That's
we
not what
don't.
you're saying. You want
Yeah.
actual wrestlers, female wrestlers in the ring.
Yes,
Okay.
I mean I don't have the need to take a tissue paper and light it on fire and throw it at somebody to make their wife come on a show. For,
Okay.
That's the
Nothing
stuff
like
that
that.
I don't really need.
Gotcha.
We want actual storylines that are believable and don't insult people's intelligence anymore. We are performing a show. We are providing, but with the right, with the right athletics. So when I pull in the women, I want those women to be able to come on and we actually say, when the right time's right, that title, that championship belt, there's a women's division ready to be built.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean by that. The same thing with the tag team division. It's surprising. And of course, it's nothing. I mean, I'm the same way. We all want it now, right?
Yeah.
But we're on our 4th show. And people are saying, what about the other titles?
You've only got 2 tag teams really that are doing something right now. So it's going to be either one of them. And that's not.
Yeah, correct.
You need more tag teams. It's fine.
And so we're building. So, the landscape by this time next year will probably look completely different with the landscape that we have now.
Do you have a female wrestler that you're looking at in Georgia who you think would be good for 12 gauge? Have you done any scouting, I guess?
I have done some scouting. We're looking into so many different. I posted up Sean Christopher and Ravina. Mm-hmm. So Ravina will be one of those that we look at. She's definitely in the works.
Right.
But to me, it's harder now. I don't want to say that it's not. I'll probably get myself in trouble, which I do all the time. It's not a fair thing, but it's hard to tell a guy that his booking is half the
Right.
He's not worth half what she is, and some of these guys are killing themselves out there.
Correct.
In a match.
I see what you're saying. And,
So,
and at the same time, too, I'm sure female wrestlers are more rare than male wrestlers. I'm sure you've got, for every 40 male wrestlers, you've got 1 female wrestler that's looking for a job. So I can understand why the fee would be more. Sarah asked about your recent request on Facebook for luchadors to reach out. Any luck there? Any found any luchadors, or is that the wrong time, maybe?
No, actually not. So I will go ahead and fast forward to our September show.
Okay.
Our September show, I'll go ahead and give you the date. It's September 7th.
September 7th.
I believe, is that right? No, I'm confirming to make sure I was right. It'll be a Sunday show.
Okay.
So that'll be a little bit off the norm for us. I have not named the show yet, but it will be a very Lucha Libre oriented event.
Okay.
I have some people coming as far as Sultan of the Sky.
Okay.
He will be coming along with several other luchadors that were trained from the House of Black.
Wow.
So
that's okay.
Yeah. So I do have.
I hope y'all are hearing this because that's going to be amazing.
Yes. When I put the card together and actually post it out, people are going to be very impressed.
Yeah.
Because I set forth wanting to bring that event, and not only that, but bring our Hispanic family from Rome and everything in here and say, hey, we know that they have a rich history with wrestling.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And it's only fair that we bring them in.
And fans want to see it. WCW, a lot of that was the cruiserweight division, luchadors. Obviously, there's a selling point there. People like to watch that style.
Yes.
So, I think it'd be a great thing in 12 gauge to see a cruiserweight division or something like, or luchadors.
I know. Could you imagine in this area a masked man that could have come off the top rope?
Wow. I haven't seen many masked men do that recently, but whatever. All right. So next question. Bill asked about someone you were recently hanging out with downtown, and if that person may show up on the 12th. You kind of alluded that you were hanging out with someone famous. And we don't know who that was.
Well, and we still got to keep a secret on that right now.
Okay.
So I can't disclose that right now, but yeah, we've got a lot of big eyes that have a lot of connections, a lot of reach right now that's on the product.
Okay.
And I think we've shown that by the generous sponsors like the Alibi here, Brandon Pledger.
I've seen the posters everywhere. I mean, when I
Yeah.
come back to Rome, it's like the posters are slapped up all over the place.
Yes.
Coming down here, I saw like at least 3 of them. So
Yeah,
that's impressive.
And shout out to Scotty. Scotty, my art designer.
Yeah.
You know, is a fantastic
Oh,
job.
it is. It really is.
I mean, so I will give a post. If you're doing promotion for wrestling, take the time and spend the money to let a graphic designer design your posters.
Yes.
Don't do it yourself on your cell phone because we all can tell.
Yeah. All right, so that's all I got for fan questions. Before we wrap this up, I thought we might play a quick word association game. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to list a couple of names out here, and you just tell me the first thing that pops in your head when you hear this person's name. Chris Kamikaze.
Oh, Chris Kamikaze. It's hard. Love and hate almost go side by side. We don't go, and I don't want to say hate. Me and Chris we love each other but can't work together. I'll say that honestly. He is a really great guy, an amazing athlete, but I don't think we're compatible to work together at any point in time. We're kind of like those two brothers that come together and see each other for 5 minutes. That's probably good. 10 minutes, we're going to be in a fight with each other.
Chris Kamikaze, he's another one who's been around for a while. He was out at, I remember when he was a baby at Dillard's, man. He was in a tag team of some sort. I don't remember who he was with. But seeing him now, just what he's become with this whole Maverick gimmick, and I guess he's retired at this point, though, right?
He has retired.
I mean, but seeing him on your first show, just kind of being like part of it, that was interesting. But I guess he just didn't work out.
Well, yeah, we couldn't come to just a normal work. As I said, we tried. We did try. Both me and him both did our try, but he did leave out with an excellent match with him and Dalton.
Yeah.
I can't thank him enough from the bottom of my heart for that.
I've been called a Chris Kamikaze Mark before, but that's that's just me. All right.
Yes.
Another wrestler I want to mention, I want to bring up Big Ben Bishop.
Big Ben Bishop. Innovative for a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben has, I've been talking recently, and I've shouted out to him on a few of the videos, and because he's doing exactly what he should be doing.
Yes.
Reaching out and hitting the social media market, and he's thinking beyond just being a big man.
He's hilarious. He is so funny. That's another thing too. Like, I watch his videos daily. He puts stuff out every day. He's constantly putting out content, and it's always just hilarious. And it's not necessarily like a promo for anything he's specifically doing. It's just him talking about the wrestling business and taking it from a humorous stance. I love it.
Yes.
The other thing too with Big Ben Bishop, he was recently hanging out with like Bret Hart at one of his shows. And I believe he was with Enzo Amore at one point too in a recent show. So he's getting out there. His name's getting up there. And I think if 12 Gauge could find a way to get him here, get him back. He was at the Coosa Valley Fairgrounds last year.
Yeah.
But I think he was down on himself at that point. Yeah. And I think he turned himself around at the last year.
Yeah.
Very different competitor.
Yeah, me and Big Ben have talked, and if the timing gets right, we're going to definitely make that happen. So
next name, Sean Ambrose.
Sean. Controversy would definitely fall in Sean's lap. He swears to me he's enjoying retirement.
Okay.
He'll never convince me that he doesn't like poking the bear every now and then on both sides.
He pokes the bear all the damn time.
So, yes. So, absolutely. Have we saw the last of Sean Ambrose? I doubt it.
He owes me because I bought an FAFO shirt and never got to wear the damn thing. So come on, Sean.
So yeah, but I will tell you, we talk.
Yeah,
we talk. And he gives me some advice, and he tells me that I'll never listen to a damn thing he tells me.
I feel like he was training to get in the ring though, right, for a little while, and then decided he was.
Well, during the very last end before my issues and before KLT kind of faded away in primetime became in existence. Sorry, I just slipped that name, didn't I? So before that happened, there was probably a good chance that he was going to get that 12 gauge at some point in time. Because I had a little bit of payback. For those of you know, that was coming for the end of something that happened at the very end of that Superstars event.
Okay.
There was something that was supposed to be paid off there that he, to this day, has gotten away with. But
Well, Sean, you need to get in the ring with 12 gauge here. Come on. All right, the next name I've got on here is Ricky Morton.
Ricky Morton. That's not what I thought she was going to say for a minute.
No, Ricky. Now, you got a lot of guys trained by Ricky Morton, right?
Ricky Morton, yes. Ricky and Robert Gibson, and a lot of guys, Robert Gibson's probably, but both come to there. Both are great guys.
Yeah.
Incredible talent, have been giving and giving and giving as far as this business goes.
I think I have Ricky Morton's autograph more than like anyone else's in the world.
And I would probably say both of those two, I would say a giving would be the name that I would come up with them. Because they've been giving back to the young guys ever since.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
and they haven't stopped. They
Yeah.
keep going. I don't know how, but they keep going. I don't even want to guess what their age is at this point.
Yeah.
All right. The last name I have on the list, you've already kind of touched base on, Zach Mosley. Anything else you need to say about him?
Well, man, I can't wait to see him back. I love Zach. Zach has, from the time I reached out to him for the first time to get him to come over, me and him, me and Zach and Skrilla and Zero at that point in time, all were kind of coming up and together at one point in time where everybody was grooming everybody and getting ready for that segment. So we have a good relationship with each other because we just kind of were there together and saw how everything transpired. Mm-hmm. We know how the business is, how we all got treated in different times. And that's not to say wrestling's wrestling. So you learn. It's probably the most cutthroat place you can be in. I mean, no, you learn to never be surprised there.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, you got all these people trying to get one championship. I mean, come on, you're going to have some cutthroat. You got all these people trying to be the best.
Yes.
All the testosterone, all the everything going on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for doing this. I think this has been a great interview. You really touched base on everything that's going to take place in the show. Yeah. That show is July 12th at the Coosa Valley Fairgrounds. And, I mean, we do it better, right?
Yeah. Well, not only that, but, and let me go over a few things. The giveaway, the 2K.
Oh, yes.
25 giveaway. So if they're buying tickets, they automatically get listed in.
Oh, wow. So you're giving away the game, the whole game, like the 2K25,
$70 PS5.
PS5, all right.
So
that's awesome. I mean, and I know that I've been putting together some content for that game that you can download from 12 gauge because I just think it's cool. I mean, these wrestlers have personalities I want to actually interact with. So I've been putting together some creations on there. If you're interested in downloading, just go to Community Creations 12 gauge. Okay. And then what else you got going on?
To go on that real quick, again, this is why I love having an audience that's in younger. Our guys, we got. He's created 12 gauge arenas.
Yeah, we got
things
arenas
like that.
Yeah.
So you can go home. You can go hit this guy up. You can hit me up. We can do some. We can play some games together.
Oh yeah, it's fun too. It's much more fun playing as people you can actually interact with. I'm never gonna meet Triple H, guys. I'm sorry, I'm never gonna meet him. But I'll meet the Warden. I'll meet Walker 13, and you can go up and talk to him. And it's different. It's a different feel. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then we just introduced the fact that there will be a pro wrestling costume contest.
Right, and is this because you got two guys that are dressing up as bushwhackers?
Last time they brought that to me and they asked me, both of them said, "Hey, are you good with us coming back?" Is that? I said, "Absolutely, love it." And I was like, "Well, why not?"
They were awesome.
Make this a contest and let people wanted to dress up as Hulk Hogan, Macho Man. Why not encourage them?
Right. There's a whole list. I think it'd be cool. Just the pictures alone are going to be awesome. I mean, because there are people taking pictures with those two guys of the bushwhackers. Just it's an experience. That's part of what it is. So, all right.
So if you've ever dreamed of snapping it to a Slim Jim, you need to do it at 12 gauge on July 12th. And so, eat your vitamins and bring out your Hulk Hogan stuff, your red and yellow gear. Yeah. Or throw on the Eufaula and be the tribal chief.
There you go. I've got a replica title belt I might bring. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
All right. Well, this has been excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Right. See y'all July 12th.
12 gauge out.
No turning back now.
Anywhere on my own, cause I can say.
Nah, no turning back now.
The very worst part of you is me. I wanna be pushed aside, so